Actually, Google Maps actually helps because it lags it just enough for you to get the portrait shot, whether they know it or not. So when it's up in your screen and you switch it over to quick launch to for your camera, it gives you time to get it over to portrait. It makes you take a breath, because Google Maps comes up as a little square and you can still see where you're going. You can also take the time to punch out of Google Maps, which it slows you down just enough so that you get the portrait. This is a portrait shot right here. This is very Dallas. I'm in Rolette, but it's very Dallas kind of mode. And we've got traffic going one direction, traffic going the other, which is common in some of my shots and some of these posts. Kind of stuck in a median, traffic going one way, traffic going the other. But it's a nice little sunset for Rolette, and you've got the power lines, which is also in the Projectionist. Power lines is probably going to be something I'm going to go back to a few times in the Projectionist. Not too much, but every once in a while, because it does take electricity to run a projector. Digital or 35mm. It still takes electricity to run them. So we're going on 2 minutes, about a 2-minute shot right here. Just waiting for traffic. Dallas is getting really populated. I think every 1 minute someone moves to Dallas. So it's getting crowded. I'm seeing a lot of Dallas. In Dallas, I'm seeing a lot of California license plates, Arkansas license plates, Oklahoma license plates, a lot of out-of-towners from California, from the Southwest, just coming in to settle down for a little bit in Dallas. It's a pretty common place to do that. The three seminal folk artists are Bob Dylan, Elliott Smith, and Jeff Tweedy. For show, those are the three seminal guys. And they're very different in generation, too. You've got Bob Dylan, really heavy in the 60s, pretty heavy even in late 50s and 60s. Bob Dylan going all the way to present day. But we're talking about a generation before the Vietnam War. But the Vietnam War being part of what Bob Dylan was about. You got Elliott Smith coming out of Generation X in the gay 90s when grunge was taking off. And then you got Jeff Tweedy, which I think Jeff Tweedy's speaking to the Generation Xers and the millennials. I think he's speaking to modern day millennials today. So he's kind of taken over the lead of folk. Of course, Elliott Smith can't because he, suffered 2 stab wounds in his heart. Whether he did it or someone else, it doesn't really matter because he's dead. So he's not really going to be able to speak that much, but he did speak at an important time in grunge. And I think he kind of slowed things down a little bit when Nirvana was taking off, and then Elliott Smith began to speak. And then Jeff Tweedy now is speaking in folk, coming out of Wilco and starting the band Tweedy with his son. And I think he is speaking to the millennials, but he's also speaking, of course, to Generation X. So all 3 of them speak to Generation X, even Bob Dylan. But Elliott Smith and Jeff Tweedy are really speaking to Generation X and Millennial, and they're folk artists.